Hey, so I started playing with this a bit today. I'm gonna run it for you here, and this takes a little bit of time to load the dependencies, so let me pause the video. Okay, that's been run. So next one, Google text-to-speech, because I want to run a conversation buffer in here with text-to-speech so that we can actually interact with this thing and get some, sophisticated results out of it. So, okay, so here's the prompt we want to use. So has that been run? Yeah. Okay, you're a speech analyst responsible for scoring a student's reading of a sample passage. Compare the number of white spaces between the words of a sample passage. Now, I tried before comparing the word count, and it just wouldn't give me a good answer. So I tried counting white spaces, and I can change this back to words if you'd like. But anyway, okay. And then the sample passage has 89 white spaces in total. So I actually told it. I actually had to tell it the white spaces that are actually in this sample, right? So Johnny was waiting for a transport ship that would take him and other family members of the miners on Jupiter back to Earth, right? So it's just a little part of a story he would have to tell. And then prompt the students to read the passage, then wait for the student to read. After the student reads, complete the white space count analysis. Do not read the passage. Wait for the human input. Do not answer any previous questions. So then I'm catching the chat history from the human and from the chatbot, so that we can converse with this thing. Okay, did I run that? So that's the prompt as it is. What's wrong? Did I not get? Oh, I have to get the memory buffer, conversation buffer in there. Okay. Then I have to create the chain, and then this is the. All right, good. So now let's run this and test it out. Hi, teacher.
Hi there. I'm here to help you with your speech analysis. Please begin by reading the sample passage provided.
Okay, so now this is going to cut me off because it's auto stop, which always cuts me off. But it doesn't matter. All we want is to get a comparison, right? A number comparison. Johnny was waiting for the transport ship that would take him and other family members of the miners on Jupiter back to Earth. He could tell on the faces of the other waiting passengers that they were as nervous as he was. He had never been to Earth, but was born on Jupiter, and the Earth had been becoming more and more dangerous, more and more polluted over the years that Jupiter mining colony had been running. That's enough.
Perfect. Now I will compare the number of white spaces between the words of the sample passage with the number of white spaces between the words of your reading. The sample passage has 89 white spaces in total. How many white spaces did your reading have?
Well, that didn't work the way I wanted it. You're supposed to count the white spaces. Please tell me the student's white space count.
Sure, I can do that. In the student's reading, there were 90 white spaces in total.
Okay, so obviously there wasn't because, they didn't even finish, right? We can count them. Let me count them and I'll tell you what they are. I'll pause the video. Yeah, see, so there was only 76 in total in the response, or in the human, in the human response, right? So I counted them up. So obviously this is not well suited for counting, and I'm going to say about LLMs that they're not really good at math yet, and they're not good at counting yet. They're really trained for a high order of text competency, not so much math competency. Although we could try one that like Llama 2 that has been trained for for coding, or we could fine tune. We could fine tune GPT 3.5 and see what we can get out of it. The ability to fine tune has just come out, so I will do that. I'll train Llama 2. I'll train fine tune 3.5 turbo and see what we get. But what I'm going to recommend is that we would use procedural stuff where we can, because it's way cheaper. We don't have to be calling on all that silicon all the time, those big GPUs, and also it's much more dependable than these large language models. They are unruly. Now we can wrestle them down and force them to behave well, and if I spend some time, I can probably get this to count right. So, but it's just unreliable for this kind of a task. On the other hand, I do recommend the integration of the text-based AI services into your platform, because everybody else is going to have it within the next year or two. Anybody who's going to stay relevant is going to have to face that music at some point.